Good morning, everybody. We're gonna plant 13,000 bulbs of garlic today. Oh, and welcome back to Broyan's farm.
That's got a bad spot.
And that's exactly what you want. Clear. Oh, green. So we just got to the field. We're about ready to go. This is the planter we're going to use, the same one we use for planting all of our vegetable plants in spring and summer. So basically, just like before, we're going to drop this shoe right here into the ground, and our hands will kind of go in between these two plates of metal.
I don't know.
Let's try it for a minute.
Yeah, that's pretty slow. Is that your next gear? All right. Come on.
Right now, it's hard to grab.
I think I could do that. Just about the timing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan's having issues. His back's hurting him.
All I know is wish me luck today. I'm stressed.
So we're just about done. We have one row left. Actually ran out of peeled garlic, and Mom and Dave are down here right now shucking some more so that way we can plant and finish out this last row. So this is some of the last garlic we have left. And a lot of it isn't the biggest or the prettiest. What we're doing is just picking out the biggest, nicest bulbs, and then breaking it apart. And then this is what we have left.
That's got a bad spot.
It's okay.
I'm just gonna throw that away. Got the nice. That's garbage. Ah, I got 2 out of it.
So this is a small bulb, but I don't know if I explained this yet. So when planting garlic, you don't plant the whole bulb. You'll plant the toes that are inside of it. So what I like to do is go through and, let me get in the shadow here a little bit, score with my fingernail between each toe, just like that. Then I'll break off the top, and now I can take and pull it apart. So now, in this bulb in particular, we have 4 toes, like so. Now we'll take and plant these in the ground, root side facing down, and we want the top of this being covered by like an inch or 2 of dirt. And then that's how it'll sit until springtime when it starts to sprout. Right now, in November here, what's gonna happen is once this is planted, it's gonna make some roots, gonna set itself in, but it's not gonna grow out of the ground, or it's not technically supposed to unless it would get a good stretch of warm weather. So that's just garbage right there. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 toes, which is gonna make 6 bulbs of garlic. What do you think, Will? Okay, so we just finished up. We have 12 rows, almost completely finished. The last row right here, you can see we finished right here, and the end of the row is right there. So, real close, but just not quite. And so basically, this is a row right here now that is done. And I'm gonna take back the dirt here a little bit. And you can see that little white thing sticking out right there. That is the tail of one of the garlics. Our goal is to have planted these between 5 and like 7 inches. 5 is ideal, but you know, sometimes we plant them a little closer, sometimes we plant them a little bit further, and that's only because we're planting them so fast we don't really have time to measure or be that precise. Another thing is that you can see how these tails are sticking perfectly straight up in the air. These 3 right here that I pulled back the dirt, and that's exactly what you want, because that root part of the bowl or the toe right there is facing down, and if you lay them sideways or even upside down, they will not grow. So that's exactly what we're looking for. And just like I said, how I peeled back this dirt about an inch or 2, that's exactly how you want them covered, about with 2 inches. So peel back one more here, right there. You can see the tail sticking up, and that's how we know that that one is good and in there and secure. So this is done now. Ideally, we could go back right now and cover this with straw, but realistically, we probably won't get back at this now until maybe even January. We'll come through here with a bunch of straw and we'll cover this. That way, not only does it suppress the weeds in the spring, but also keeps that hard, freezing cold weather off of it all winter. Milkweed! Come on! Come on! So today it's about 35 with wind chill. It feels about 28, 30 degrees, something like that. It is getting warmer, but right now with the wind and it still being morning, it's just cold. So Dad just left for market. What I'm working on right now is we are done now with all of our sprayers for this year. And so this is our shielded sprayer. In there we have like what we call our pill bottle sprayer, if you can see it in there. And then we have our big hardy sprayer. So my dad already winterized the big hardy sprayer, and now we got to do these 2 yet. And when I say winterize, that means basically get all the water out of it. We always flush our tanks when we're done with whatever chemicals were in it, but now we got to just get that regular water out of it, drain out, clean all the lines very good, which is not much in them besides water, but still we want to flush them out one more time, and then we're going to run antifreeze through them. That way it'll sit in the lines throughout the winter, and if it gets real cold, our nozzles or lines, nothing like that's going to bust. Because if you don't, all these plastic parts right here that have water sitting in them will freeze, and that's going to expand, and then it busts all these, and then it's just a nightmare come spring. So we try and eliminate all that by taking care of it the right way and winterizing it. So I just took the tips out of the sprayers. Right here is where the water, chemical, whatever you want to say, will spray out of. And then this is like the inside of the housing where, like I said, the water will be inside. And so then inside of that is this screen, and this just blocks any kind of debris from trying to go out that little tiny hole there, because if it gets clogged, then you got to stop the sprayer, get out, unclog it, and it gets to be a huge nuisance. So there's actually 2 filters on this sprayer. There's one right here. That's a bigger screen, and then once it goes through these lines, then it goes out here, which right here is where I actually just pulled this and that tip out over there. And so this goes up in here, and then the tip goes over top that and locks in. So once I took these out, I noticed that, and I don't know if you can see it on here, there's just a tiny little bit of spray residue on there. And every year we do this, we take them off, we clean them. This one actually has quite a bit, and I'll just kind of take the hose and spray that out of there. Because once that gets so clogged, what happens is your spray will not come out the right pressure, and then you're going to be putting more chemicals on some plants and then not quite enough on other ones, just because, you know, you have clogged screens. There. That wasn't even much pressure at all. Came right off. Simple. Okay, so now here we have the antifreeze. All my tips are back in. Got the whole thing pressure washed. It's beautiful. And so I'm gonna dump this in. Once I get that dumped in, then I will run it out the nozzles until I can see green coming out of each one, and then it will be winterized. So you can see it laying in the bottom there. Now I'm gonna do 2 at a time so I don't waste it, so I can see what's going on exactly and how much is coming out. So you can see the pressure rising there. It's actually got a little too much pressure there. All right, so there it's green. Come back over here quick, shut it off. Oops. Shut that one off. Now do the middle row. I just got to make sure I don't run out of antifreeze, or then everything will have to put more in. So you can see my hands clear, 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 clear. Oh, green. Done. This machine is cleaned and winterized, ready to go in the shed now till next spring or maybe almost summer. With that being said, I'm gonna call it a wrap for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and always remember it ain't much, but it's honest work.